Here is how to adapt to a new environment. Whether it's a town, new city, you just move, whether it's a new work environment, or you're that weird guy in the corner going, Sam, I don't care what you're talking about, could you just talk? Like, yeah man, I got you. Let's talk about it. Here are 3 things to recognize. I know I love the number 3, specifically for 3 reasons. 1, it saves time, and money, and stress, and a lot of things. It's just simple as fuck. 2, anything more is too much for a lot of people to associate with any given group of concepts in order to consciously process it in a very short period of time, and actually retain at least some of it. And 3, if I do it consistently, people will maybe look at me when I'm about to explain something and be like, okay, Sam is gonna explain it. That means he's gonna simplify it all and make it easy to understand, even though he kind of complicates fucking everything he talks about. So here are 3 things to recognize when you are adapting to a new environment. It's gonna make the whole process 5 times easier, I swear, if you apply them. Or at least remember them when things get, you know, a little fucky. Number 1 is recognize the transition period. Your brain has a mental map of all the shit it processes. Every day and everything, the little shits. That shit, those shits, I mean, if you use the word shit referring to any noun, I don't know if there's a plural for it. I feel like it is a plural of itself, which probably makes no sense, but all the things your brain processes and what they have in common with each other, your brain is like, okay, he takes a shit at about 7:30 every day in the morning after drinking his coffee, which is usually black. I don't know anything about coffee. I literally just ask them to make me whatever because I drink it for the effect. I don't care about the taste. And his bagel and shit like that. So when you have any set of daily habits, whether you very proactively chose them yourself or not, your habits become somehow aligned with the environment in which you perform them and how you perceive it. And when you move to a totally different place, there's like a transition your brain goes through. It's like, I don't recognize all these things, so I don't really know what the fuck to do. This is how important habits are and how much they form the way we think and act in any given situation. And if that doesn't make enough sense, or you're like, I don't know if I agree with that, Sam, I'm gonna talk about that a little bit later in the video. So part of adapting to a new situation, a new environment, is recognizing the patterns, recognizing that there is a period during which you will have to. I mean, whether you want to or not, you eventually will, unless the anxiety of being in a new place literally gives you a heart attack and you die out of nowhere. Maybe it's the coffee. I don't know. Number 2 is recognize anti-fragility. Now, I know that sometimes, if you're getting into a totally new lifestyle or something, you're like, Sam, I don't have time for that shit. I don't have enough time for my brain to subconsciously assimilate the bullshit that I experience every day because I have to go to this city next week and that city next month, and that shit is too much for me to handle. Now, when I was moving to Atlanta, during that process, I listened to the audio version of a book called Anti-Fragile. It's a very fucking dense book. Very big concepts this guy talks about. Perhaps a little bit pessimistic, but also realistic for sure. To a great degree, it's about how things benefit from disorder. I'll link it in the description for anyone who wants to check it out and maybe read the reviews, but I kept telling myself about the things I was learning in that book. It was a great time in my life for me to be listening to a book like that. There's nothing better than like listening to a book or like listening to a song all the time or an album, and what it's all about just happens to really be relatable to your life, and you can apply a lot of that information that you take in, and that makes it easier to adapt to a new environment. I didn't even write that shit, that part. Like, I just came up with that on the spot. But I kept telling myself about things in the book like, dude, I'm gonna benefit from this because it's a bunch of bullshit and it's information that I can process and really learn something from. I swear, if you take notes about what you're doing and experiencing more than how you actually feel about it, you will begin to notice things about yourself and the environment that you would definitely not have figured out as fully as otherwise. She's bananas. Number 3 is recognize impermanence. Nothing is permanent. It seriously is not. And expecting things to just stay the way they are is like, is it that hard to just appreciate what was? What it will be instead? How often do you sit back and think, damn, that was pretty dope? If you focus on what sucks about this new environment, that's all you're gonna think about. Tony Robbins likes to say, where your focus goes, your energy flows. I think that's what it is. If you focus on what you like about it, that's what you're gonna think about. And you become what you think about. And whichever one you choose, because it's a decision, and I really want to stress that, you're gonna see more of it, because more of it is just gonna pop out to you, according to what you ask of the universe, really. But none of that shit is gonna be permanent either. That's why being able to appreciate things no matter where you are or what happens, it's a really invaluable skill. But people leave, people die, they move on to different things. You will too. I have a video about why why I moved to Atlanta. I'm actually gonna drop a link to it in the description. But like, dude, it actually scared the shit out of me. I actually seriously did not want to go. Again, this is being filmed before 2019. What is it, December 29th? But if I had to guess, my expectations are very low. I think the circumstances are gonna fucking suck. But you know what? I think I'm gonna have an awesome time adjusting to them. That's why I make a lot of videos like this one. So I can watch them later and be like, oh, that's what the fuck is. I mean, a lot of these videos are kind of just self-reminders for me. And anyone else who like supports me or my music or anything like that, because I make music, I'm probably gonna drop a link to that in the description as well for anyone who found this through search and they're like, who the fuck is this weird child? But I think I'm gonna have an awesome time adjusting to those environments, because if I don't, regardless, I'll have an awesome time teaching myself to adjust to them. And the more you teach yourself to adjust to new environments, the more environments you adjust to, you actually begin to develop a skill of adapting to new environments as in general. And you don't even have to worry about that shit, because that alone will be a habit for you. So if you travel all the time, I mean, most people who travel all the time probably don't need to even watch this video, because they either understand it, whether they realize it or not, or they just don't fucking see it as a problem because of, I guess, what I just said. Sometimes I talk to myself in these videos as if I'm more skilled than I am at the time I make them. But I think that's because I make them after having visualized a thorough application and reflection of what I learned during all that time. But what do you guys think? What helps you? What has helped you so far with adapting to new environments? Please let me know in the comments. Also, let me know if you guys have any ideas you want me to talk about in future videos, and I'll give you a shout out if and when I use them. If you have any questions, please feel free to hit me up. There are links at the bottom of the description to all my social media. Also at the bottom of the description, there are links to my new production kits where you can find all the hardware and software that I use to make music. And these videos, if you buy any, I get commission, which helps me build this channel and keep making these videos for you guys. I made all the beats in this video. If you want to use them, you can find links to each one that I used in the video from first to last in the description, or at samuel.earth/beats. Make sure to leave a like if you like it, subscribe if you haven't already. If you could turn on that little bell to receive a notification every time I drop a new video, that would mean the world to me. Thank you guys so much for watching. You can find me everywhere, and I'll see you then.